What's up everyone, it's your boy Elijah Steven. If you're new here, welcome. Like I said, my name is Elijah Steven. This is my son Amari, and if you want to see car content, supercar content, crazy houses, some real estate stuff, and a little bit of success and motivation, guides, helps, and tips, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. But first things first, we are going to be starting this video. It's going to be 5 different mods you have to do to your Subaru WRX and STI. These are Amari approved, so they're perfect, okay? So that being said, we're gonna cue the intro, let's go. Welcome back, guys. So as I was saying, this video is gonna be the top 5 mods you have to do to your Subaru WRX or STI. And I'm gonna do these in order of what I would probably do if I did get another one. I've had 2 Subies now, and so this is from my personal experience. First thing on this list is going to be an exhaust. Whether you have a WRX or an STI, any generation, any year, an exhaust is gonna completely transform your car, transform the way it sounds, how it looks, excuse me, and just overall change the whole characteristic of your vehicle. There's so many different options. You can get a single exit, a quad exit, a dual exit. Particularly, I have the NVIDIA exhaust on my hatchback, the N1 particularly, and it sounds insane. There's also tons of different types of exhaust you can do. You can just get an axle back, a cat back, a turbo back. I mean, there's just a ton of options there for you guys to select from. But it truly will just completely transform your car. It'll make it sound like a completely different beast, and it'll make you enjoy your car that much more because you'll enjoy the ride more, the pulls more, and it does have a little bit of potential to give you a little bit of power gain. Nothing crazy or huge, but with the right mods accompanying it, you can get some power gains out of it, and you'll also get a little bit of better throttle response, etc. Moving on to number 2 on the list is going to be wheels. Wheels on a car can completely transform the look of it, particularly, and I mean, it can genuinely take your car from the most stock, like, I don't want to say whack, I don't think Subies look whack, but it can make it go from that kind of wacky look to something truly crazy, something really mean looking, depending on the stance, depending on how wide your tires are, and the setup you have. It just truly transforms the look of it and can make for a much more aggressive style, and can really show who you are as a person and your personal preferences for your own vehicle. There's tons of different options for wheels. There's inexpensive wheels, expensive wheels, tons of different styles of spoke, 5-spoke, multiple spoke. Probably not, I wouldn't ever suggest anyone getting the spinners, but if you want to put on spinners on your car, you go ahead and do it. I don't think I've seen a Subie with that. But what I'm getting to is wheels can completely transform your car for the better, and they truly will make you enjoy your car that much more because, I mean, it just completely changes the look overall. Moving on to number 3, I'm gonna pass my co-host on out here and get this light back on. But moving on to number 3, I'm definitely going to suggest, the light came back on, but it's not working too well. I'm gonna go ahead and suggest a downpipe. All right, so this is, maybe people can consider this a power mod, but getting a downpipe, whether that be catless or catted, is gonna also change the sound of your vehicle, especially if you do have an exhaust from the downpipe back. It can completely transform the sound. And I know I keep saying that, but I could not say it enough. I personally have the catless NVIDIA downpipe, and it makes the car that much louder if you do go catless, and it also allows you to hear a couple other types of sounds, like the turbo sound when the RPMs are coming down and the turbo's kind of winding down. You'll hear that much more of the Subaru rumble, and like I said, it could be considered a power mod because if you do get your car tuned, which I definitely suggest you do if you're going with a downpipe, especially catless, you will get some good torque gains and some horsepower gains. Nothing crazy, but you will get some noticeable gains as far as the driving experience goes. You'll definitely notice a little more torque. At least I did when I got my downpipe and cat back together. And it can really just help you get a completely different experience out of your car. Moving on to the 4th top modification I think you all should consider is definitely going to be some exterior stuff. So I have a carbon fiber STI wing, I have a front splitter, I have side skirts. My car does have a wrap on it currently. It's got this camo geometric crazy looking wrap. And anyways, exterior mods are gonna further allow you to really show the personality of your vehicle and yourself. It can make your car look that much more aggressive. You know, I think it's just the perfect way to change your car up and make it look different from others in a way that might be less expensive than going with power mods, because power mods are super expensive. And so being able to get some less expensive exterior stuff can really help you enjoy your car that much more and make it stand out from the rest. You know, like I said, splitter, wings, diffusers, all that kind of stuff can really help transform your car. And then if you move to the interior, some basic mods can also be stuff like some carbon fiber accents and just simple things. But despite them being simple, it'll make you enjoy your car that much more and will allow it to stand out. Moving on to the fifth mod I strongly suggest you get is an intake. And along with the intake, a tune. So an intake and tune I suggest as the fifth mod. You know, I suggest you get your car tuned if you do any mods on your Subaru, but specifically an intake and tune will truly allow you to get a little bit of a horsepower and torque gain out of your car. Further, a ton of people love the sound of a loud turbo. Now when you get an intake, a lot of times you'll be able to get the turbo noise a little bit more auditory, as opposed to having the stock intake with the stock airbox. The intake will allow you to get also a lot colder air going into your turbo, thus providing you a much better experience. Tons of different options for intakes. There's Perrin intakes, Cobb, although I don't suggest Cobb because I know a lot of people that have it and they don't really get too much benefit out of it, and they also get high intake temps. But moving further than that, there's K&N, as I said, Perrin. I mean, you can just type it in and there's tons and tons of different intakes. I definitely suggest that you get a cold air intake as opposed to like a short ram, because you'll get the colder air from like the wheel well area that'll really be able to provide the most benefit for your turbo and for the performance of the car. I also would say that you'll definitely get the auditory sound from having that intake, and especially if you have an aftermarket turbo inlet, the sound of the whooshing and spooling noise just gets that much louder. And if you're a car person and a Subi person, I mean, you don't even have to be a Subi person, if you're just a car person in general who loves cars, you cannot beat that sound, and it'll completely make you enjoy the car that much more, and you might get a little happy on the gas. So we're gonna do two final little bonus modifications. The first one is going to be getting an external wastegate. So this mod definitely I'm going to suggest you get tuned for, because you do not want to blow up your car. But the external wastegate is going to allow you to have the most insane sounds of all time. If you haven't heard that, I definitely suggest you go up into the search bar and search that. The external wastegate provides also some really good horsepower gains if the car does get tuned. So I definitely suggest maybe picking one up. There's a couple different types, there's a couple different models. And then you can also get like the wastegate itself, most likely from Tile, at least that's what I would suggest. And it's just going to really allow you to get a completely new sound out of your car while also getting some really good horsepower gains with a tune accompanied with it. The very final modification that I suggest, well not suggest, but want to throw out there for you guys is going to be a blow-off valve or a bypass valve. So Subarus do not really need either of these, but with the proper tune and the proper accompanying modifications, the car can run a blow-off valve or a bypass valve with little complication and with little harm. But you have to make sure you get it tuned. If you've ever seen Fast and Furious, everybody knows the sounds of the turbo noises and the psst and all that kind of stuff. And you've probably been around another person's car where they did a pull and they let off the gas and they got that loud whistle noise, that psst. I mean, if you haven't heard that, I suggest you look that up. But anyways, if you want to get something to add a little bit of that extra added style and spice to the car and make it sound that much cooler, I would suggest a blow-off valve or a bypass valve, but don't forget to get a tune. That being said, guys, that is all 5 of my recommended mods. The must-have mods for sure, and a couple little bonus mods. So that being said, if you want to see some more of this Subaru content, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below. My son is right there popping in to say what's good, and we'll see you guys soon. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace.